I never thought I would see something like this, but Jimbo Fisher is actively after Nick Saban. I just don't even know where to start with this deal. You know, Nick Saban on Wednesday night to a business meeting in Alabama in Birmingham said A&M bought every player on their team, made a deal for name, image, and likeness. We didn't buy one player. So here comes Jimbo. I mean, hard at Saban. He says, go dig into how Saban did his deal. You may find out a lot of things you didn't want to know. I want to know. Why don't you tell us, by the way? But anyway, we built him up to be the czar of football. Go dig into his past or anybody that's ever coached with him. You can find out anything you want to find out. What he does and how he does it, it's despicable. Saban. Now, this is not a back and forth. Saban went Wednesday night. Jimbo calls a press conference on a Thursday morning. Saban, Wednesday night. We have players in our state that grew up wanting to come to Alabama that they won't commit to us unless we're saying we're going to give them something somebody else is going to give them. Who is it? Someone else. Here's Jimbo again saying he's the greatest ever, huh? Talking about Saban. When you've got all the advantages, it's easy. I don't know what he means by advantages. You coach with other people and learn how not to do things. There's a reason people I ain't ever back and worked for Saban don't want to be associated with him. Our friends at TexAgs who cover Texas A&M on a day-to-day, second-to-second basis called this the greatest college football press conference in history, and I think they could be very close to right because I have seen a lot of press conferences in my day, and or they called it one of the greatest. I gotta tell you, this is some shocking shit. Just straight up, not even I don't even know what to say. Look, before I get into it, make sure you're picking up DAWGSTRUCTION. Check out the link below. The number one way for you to support this channel is by checking out DAWGSTRUCTION. The link is down below. The success we've had with the book is amazing. Don't miss out on it. There's a lot to discuss here. I mean, Saban went in on the Miami basketball program. Jim Larinaga, who's done a really good job at Miami for a long time. He's talking about Jackson State and Travis Hunter. There's a lot to unpack here, but I gotta say, there's I don't know why both these guys are reacting the way they are, or are acting the way that they are. I mean, you've got Nick coming up there in Birmingham. I can't tell if he's actually perturbed or if he is doing the Bear Bryant, bringing in USC with black players, showing Alabama they need to have black players or they're never going to win a national championship again. That happened in the 70s. I mean, is Nick doing something similar to that here, saying, hey, if you don't get on board with NIL and structuring things in NIL, Alabama, we're not going to be able to compete in the global marketplace that's become college football recruiting? Is he genuinely aggravated? Is he saying there's a problem in the NCAA with enforcement? We haven't had enforcement in the NCAA in coming on half a decade now, so that can't be real. Um, I think Nick doesn't look great. I think Jimbo looks worse, and I understand why Jimbo is doing this for his audience, but I got to tell you, well, let me keep with Nick real quick. It does make it seem like Nick Saban is like worried to some degree, which I would have never took him as being worried about anything, frankly. I mean, this is a guy that is the only program that's played for the last two national championships. He's the only guy with, you know, 6 rings or whatever it is at his institution. I mean, it comes off that way. Whether he meant it to be like that, I couldn't say. I have the utmost respect for Nick Saban, what he's done at Alabama. People want to say, "Oh, well, he cheats." I don't care. I mean, it is. You think Nick Saban is the only person allegedly cheating in college football? Get in the real world, okay? He's living in the reality that is there. And I think now he sees that things have changed or are changing, and he is trying to address it in some way or another. There is no enforcement anymore. To me, Jimbo is doing right by the guys at A&M, but he looks real weak here. I mean, this is, I don't understand why there's such, you know, aggravation. Now, it could be that I do not know the law in Texas, but it could be that the law in Texas is that you cannot do some of the things that are being alleged to have happened uh, by Nick at A&M. But that also assumes that everyone that they that they bought lives in Texas, is underneath the jurisdiction of Texas, and this whole thing is a mess. I don't know why Jimbo's so aggravated, because the way that everybody in college football and college basketball behind the scenes is saying and viewing things is, there's no cheating anymore. Jimbo may be a very nuanced person. He's saying that he doesn't cheat and he doesn't lie. Uh, Bullshit. Okay. Um, Bullshit. And we have seen this in college football when these coaches say stuff that's not, that gets them in trouble at the end. Hugh Freeze. I mean, you know, stop. Don't do that. What To me, the way that Jimbo should have said nothing. Frankly, they should have said release out. Now Ross Bjork, who is a very good athletic director and has been for some time, who went from Ole Miss to A&M. Now he's saying, according to reporting from Ross Dillinger, that the league's got to get involved and sanction Nick Saban. That is never going to happen. They're not going to sanction Nick Saban, who is the face of the league. Nobody's out to get you, Texas A&M. You got to let that shit go. I mean, no one's out to get you. You are in a very powerful position. Now it's time to go out and have a meaningful season. That means getting it done on the field. I mean, like, it's time. It's time to win the national championship at Texas A&M. It's time to win the West. I mean, the last time that Texas A&M won a conference championship was when R.C. Slocum was there, y'all. Like, that's not good enough. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they've been in the league for 10 years now. They've gone on, or 10. This will be the 11th season. And, they've been a good program. They just haven't broken through in a way that matters in any way. You got Mike Sherman. I'm like, it is, it is surprising to me, to me, to some degree. I don't know why Nick did what he did. I mean, is he legitimately like bothered by what's going on in Texas A&M? I mean, what I would say to him is grow up. Uh, you know, they're taking advantage of the situation that they're in, and um, everybody needs to take a look at their finances, what's around them, and how can they benefit their program the most. I mean, the problem with college football in many different ways is it's the most jacked up version of capitalism that we have going today. I mean, like, it's not real. Like, there are certain things you cannot do. There are certain things, like, it's too strange. Like, the players are not getting paid. Now, when they can, it's a wild, wild west, because the NCAA and the NCAA is the schools, took too long to act. I mean, it's a mess right now, but it will get dealt with. I am a little bit skeptical that everybody thinking uh, that if this gets through DC, that will suddenly fix the problems. I don't think it will, and I don't know, but I feel like there's a little bit too much um, whining right now, generally speaking, but coming from Texas A&M. I mean, like, they have not finished first in a conference this century, in any conference. And now they've got some momentum. They have done a very good job recruiting. Doesn't matter how they recruit. That's irrelevant. But then, like, when someone criticizes, it like, no, neither of these guys look good here. Like, they both look like they're like, it doesn't look right. Like, Nick is better than this. He may have done this to get a reaction from Jimbo or something, but Jimbo looks like a baby, y'all. I mean, I understand what he's doing, but it doesn't look good nationally. I mean, like, it looks like, uh, you know, it looks like he's protesting a little too much. That's what it looks like to me. Now, the Georgia part of this is some of the stuff that 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 was said along the way. That's going to be problematic for Kirby because Jimbo is talking about guys that work for for Saban and all this stuff. I mean, Jimbo worked for Saban too. So did Lane Kiffin. So did Kirby. I mean, there's no shortage of people that work for him. This is a mess, and both these guys look bad. That's what I would say about it. And I don't know. I think they should try to be a little bit better. And the SEC does not look good today.